Convotime. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything that has to do with young adults. You guys know my friends already. I've got Toby.
Hey guys.
Ronke. And JB, aka Jumbusko.
Hello guys.
Call him JB because it's so cool. Guys, help me out here, right? I've got a friend that her mom is pressuring her for not boyfriend, husband. And I don't understand why there's this need for parents to pressure somebody to bring home a husband. Like, why? Like, I'm married and I wasn't pressured to bring home a husband, but there's certain parents that feel the need to go, especially with girls. Like, obviously I'm saying husband, especially with girls. Parents these days, and mothers, it's not even like dads. I feel like dads don't, when it comes to girls, dads don't care. Not that they don't care, but they don't want their babies to go, obviously. But mom is always saying, oh yeah, where's husband? Where's husband? And she's not even graduated yet. She's still in uni.
How old is your friend?
She's 22.
Oh wow, your friend is young.
She's 22 and her mom's pressuring her for a husband.
Wow.
Maybe her mom just wants us. Is she done with uni though?
She's on her final year.
On the final year. Yeah, maybe her mom just wants, things, pa,
But what's the papa
Yeah,
about
but
it?
for me, it was more so, when I got into uni, don't talk to guys, don't talk to guys, don't talk to guys. And then once you graduate, it's like, where's your corner?
How is that supposed to work out, please?
You know, the thing
Especially
is,
the aunties. The aunties are the worst.
I
Just
think
put
for
it
the
there.
moms, probably they're looking at it from their perspective. Most times they'll feel, at your age, I was already married. So they just want them to kind of repeat what they did.
I get that, but see, the funny thing is, there are girls that I know as well that for 20-something odd years of their life, ever since they were born, till when they're like 20, 21, 22, going into uni, their mom is like, I don't want to see you near a boy. I don't ever want to see a guy near you. If you touch a guy, you will get pregnant.
Don't even look at
My
him.
mom was
Don't
raised...
even look at him. If
My-
you touch him like this, you're pregnant.
My mom
You're
was
pregnant.
raised and told by her mother that if a boy touches past your shoulder, it's instant pregnancy. And the day there was a guy that she liked and they were walking home and the guy just touched her just to say goodbye. He just wanted to like touch her hand. The slap she gave him and said, do you want to get me pregnant?
Oh.
She held on to that thing, hook, line, and sinker, going, my mother said, I will get pregnant if a guy touches me. Obviously, we're wiser in this day and age, and we know that's not how it
It's
works.
just to scare them now.
It's
Just to scare you. It's just to scare you.
I
so
know
no.
that, obviously, we know better.
Yeah, it's a
We
scare,
know
but
that,
then they have an
like, I'm touching you, I know that
They have an
nothing's going to happen.
expectation that once you graduate and once you're working and once you're, once you reach a certain age that, yeah, okay, where's your husband? What are they,
But they don't know that those guys are Yoruba demons. You guys want girlfriend just like that.
It's
Exactly.
funny. It's funny
They
how they
expect you
tell.
not to date anyone while you're in uni or while you're working, and then all of a sudden,
They start
after
pressuring
you're
you
done,
to
it's
bring
like,
back-
where
bring
is
home
he?
the
Like, come on
guy.
now. After you guys have told us for the past 5-6 years that we shouldn't date people.
And then you expect a guy to appear from magic thing at Prince. No, they want Prince Charming. You know, Prince Charming always comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, but they know it doesn't work like that.
I don't know if they do though.
You know, for me, I think
think they do.
I think why they tell the ladies not to actually get indulged with the guys more is because they don't want them going out there without their care to mess things up for themselves. So they just want you to be careful. It's a way of saying be careful.
Yeah, but that-
some people actually go to the extreme of telling you this is, like you said, when he
Touch you,
touches
get
you, you
married,
get
pregnant
pregnant and all of that. So
But
it's really,
it's
really
not
bad.
it's not realistic, right? When your mom says or your parents say, I don't want to see you near a guy,
Or your
and then
aunts.
even if you have a friend that's a guy, they're like, you shouldn't be friends with guys, it can lead to something else, blah blah blah. And you've grown up with that, with all that ideology and mentality and stuff, and then all of a sudden one day they're going, where's the husband? They're not even asking where's the boyfriend. They say where's the husband? How would I get husband without having boyfriend?
You just need to remind her of
Yeah,
what she
said
told
to
you.
innit? I
For
feel
me,
bad
that's
'cause I
it.
can't even help you guys here. I feel so
That's
bad
the
for you,
funny
like-
thing is, girls are being brought up and raised as, oh, you need to, this is how you will cook for your husband, this is how you should treat your husband, this is all while your mother is saying you're not allowed to have a boyfriend. So she's
prepping
teaching
you
you
up,
how to
bro.
be a how to be a good wife
wife.
without having the boyfriend here. But guys, I feel like guys don't get that training of how to be a good husband.
We do.
I agree.
You do?
I agree with
Okay, can you
Loretta.
give me an example of how how you were trained to be a good husband?
He's not really going to tell you directly, but he's just, you're going to look up to your dad, see the thing he does, like take care of your mom, when she needs money and all that kind of stuff.
What about
You know,
those
put a
ones
roof
that
over
they're...
your kids and stuff like that. Make sure your kids are in a good school.
What about those that their dads aren't around?
Look at your uncle.
Not really.
Okay,
You know,
but-
the thing is, it's for me. I just feel it should be balanced, because, like you said, most guys look up to their father as some sort of role model, and anything you do, indirectly or directly affects that very child, like that very son of yours.
Yeah.
So for the fathers, I think it's like an advice. Know that somebody is looking up to you. So anything you're doing, just know that you're passing something down.
You know the way they say kids are sponges and they like absorb what they see and all. Do you not feel like, for example, when I was growing up, there were little things that my parents would do or say, nothing bad now or anything, but for example, like running up and down the stairs just to go and get them their medicine or a remote or whatever. Those annoying little things that I say, oh, I'm never gonna do, I'm never gonna do. And I found myself still doing it to my siblings. Like I haven't even had my own kids. And I was doing that to my siblings, like sending my sister up the stairs to go bring something for me that I could easily get myself, like. But so I feel like kids would still absorb all that from their parents, like their dad hitting their mom. And in as much as the guy might say, oh, I'm never going to do that to my wife, I'm never going to do that to my wife, at some point in time, there will be a flashback or that sponge that thing that has absorbed like a sponge into him, that he would end up hitting his wife and be remorseful for it, obviously, because he didn't mean to. But because of what he's seen growing up, wouldn't that happen?
I don't think it should happen. It depends on what those little things really are. Like the example you gave, you said running upstairs, just those little errands in the house, and you're doing it to your siblings. That's because probably you feel what your mom felt then, you know. Come on, this thing is just one little thing I'm asking you to go and do, and you're just here and all of that. So I don't think it's an excuse to just base it like, this is what I saw, this is what I observed, and you're using it on your wife. I don't think that should be an excuse at all.
I guess so. But, like, do you guys feel the pressure of getting married as well? Like, because girls have obviously, they've been asked, oh, where's your husband, where's your husband? Do you guys feel that pressure at all?
No,
I want to know. No?
life is good on my end.
Can you imagine?
Nah, you don't get the pressure. I feel like it's more on the ladies, you know, you guys, you know, that the nature or something, you know, once you pass 30 or something.
Yeah, they start telling you that your
yeah.
biological clock is ticking, and you
Yeah.
know, the pressure, like, you know, the stress of having children, it's like, it's said to be more harder and stuff like
Well,
that.
that's true, but for the guys, I think it depends on the guys and the parents per se.
Yeah.
Some parents will still, you
Pressure
know,
a guy.
pressure a guy to, I need my grandchild, you know,
Yeah,
especially
that's
the
true.
mothers.
Uh-huh.
It's more on the
One of my
mothers from the
grandkids,
guys.
yeah.
She'll be like, I need a grandchild. Well, like I said, like he said, his end is cool. Nobody's pressuring me.
Yeah, but I feel like women are more pressured, even just taking, from my experience, like being back home. Like, I don't get any pressure from my mom, but I know my aunties and uncles back home in Ekiti, they'll be like, oh, so Ronke, you finished college now and you're working now, like, when are we coming to your wedding? When are we going to meet your husband? And I'm just like, and my mom is like, Emma saw a wedding, Emma saw a marriage, Ronke Mabinu, she's going to get mad. So they're like, oh, okay, we won't say anything.
Oh my gosh. No, like, but, Ronke, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like guys haven't got a clue.
They have no
Like,
idea.
I wish you guys
No
knew
idea.
what girls went through.
No
What do you
idea.
mean? What do you guys go
Do you know
through?
what's even? Do
Like,
you know
all
what's?
the pressure is on us.
Uh-huh.
All the pressure.
I'm
Yeah,
not joking. Do you,
it
you know
is.
that they say if a marriage fails, it's the woman's fault?
No, I disagree.
Or do you know, even if, let's say, your child is misbehaving, they'll say, oh, Omo Yaini.
That's a
Or the
cultural
woman
thing.
didn't.
Yeah,
But
you
it's a
didn't raise
pressure.
your
It's
child.
It's a
still
cultural
pressuring.
thing. I don't think a young guy my age who's married would say a kid who is, acting up is because that's the mom's kid.
Yeah, but
Nah.
they'll
But
say
it's
that
not
it's the
you
moms that
guys that
spoiled
will
them.
say it.
Yeah,
It's the adults that, like, the
yeah,
mamas
it's
and the
just
papas that
yeah,
will
that's
say
the way
that.
they were
You know,
raised.
the
It's a
truth
cultural
is,
thing.
like you said, the mamas and the papas, they feel growing up, like the mothers especially, growing up, they kept their home. So they think every lady should be able to keep her home as well.
But why can't
You
a
know-
guy do it too? Like, what's wrong with a guy training?
Because that's because they believe the guys don't understand what mothers understand.
And that's the way they've been doing
And
it back
that's
then.
just the way it is. So for me, I think that's their belief. And I feel every lady should be able to keep her home safe.
Okay,
Fine,
so
I'm not saying, there are guys, there are homes where the husband
As long as,
maltreats
you know,
the
Yeah.
misbehaving.
wife and all of that. I'm not
Okay.
saying stay and die. You understand? If it gets to that,
You might not stay and
just
die.
run. If it gets
Don't-
to that,
don't
run.
stay
But
and
I
die.
think it's just
Don't stay
normal.
and die.
Ladies, it's just the way it is. They feel they can keep the home better than the guys.
So in this generation that we're in now, like it's 2018. I'm gonna keep saying it's 2018. New things, new trends, new generation, and all of that. If you're obviously you grew up, your mom, I'm thinking, probably still has that mentality of the wife would keep the home and the man would be the breadwinner and all like that. What would you do if your mom came and saw that maybe the dishes weren't done in the sink and your wife was at home and she starts giving out to your wife for not doing the dishes?
Well,
Something as simple as that. She's saying, "Oh, your house is unkept."
That's a tough one, you know.
Yeah.
it's a tough one.
That's a tough
One, why would you be in the house and the dishes are not done? It depends on what you're doing. I'm coming. Some
Okay.
people, some ladies can be very lazy.
Don't bury yourself, JB.
No, I'm not.
I can hit you about 50 times on that one and
Be
give you
safe
different
out
reasons.
You know, the truth is, it depends on what you're doing. But I don't see the reason why you will be at home
And dishes are.
and the dishes are not done. Probably my mom came like, say, 2, 3, and the dishes were there from probably last night. They were like last night's dishes. And she just came in 3, and the dishes are not done. For me personally, even when I come to the house and the dishes are not done, I won't be happy with you.
Okay, we'll take a little break. I'm going to come back and give you an answer in that. We're going to battle this out and let you know exactly what I think.
Okay,
We're going to
no
take a little
problem,
break and
man.
we'll be back with that. Welcome back to Convo Time. So before the break, we were talking about the pressures that are put on guys and girls, but mainly girls we've established so far, on getting married and having kids and keeping the home and all of that. Now, JB, I put a question to you and I said, what if your mom came home or came to your house and your wife hadn't done the dishes or something? You said, okay, anything could have happened. Now, don't forget that we are also talking about, like I said, this is the 21st century, right? In as much as the home is to be kept, right? I'm talking the dishes haven't been done in the sense that you guys just had lunch and the dishes are there and she had other things to do. This is her house as well. So she can decide to come back to it at any point in time. Does she have to feel, oh, because your mom is around, I have to do everything, pum, 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 even though she has an already set routine for herself in her own home? Do you get what I mean? But then your mom comes along and says, oh, she picks at the dishes specifically because your wife has decided to do something else so she can come back to the dishes later. And your mom picks at it and says, oh, the dishes aren't done and you're not keeping your home, blah, blah, blah. But you know yourself, your wife always does the dishes. It's just that one time.
Well, the instance you gave is quite different from the one I gave earlier.
Okay.
But if it's from what you're saying, it's just simple. Just for me to go around mama and just take her out of that very place and make her understand this woman has got a lot doing and she will do the dishes. That's really not going to be a problem.
And your mom isn't, maybe your mom isn't the kind of person, but you think there are some mothers that would be there and saying, oh, these are the things that she should be doing. What else? What is more important than keeping your home?
It's in my place. It's in my place.
Can't you not do the dishes?
Can't you say, okay, mommy, I'll do it?
I was gonna say something else.
Can't JB do the dishes if you see that your wife is busy? Why can't you,
You
do
know,
it?
let's be realistic. You have a mother that will nag you forever because your wife didn't do the dishes. And in front of her, you want me to do the dishes. That means
Can't
she
you
will
make-
just kill the wife
No,
that
listen,
I'm
but
trying
can't
to
you make
protect.
like I said
Because
again,
But this
no,
is
that's
your
the truth.
home.
That's
This
the
is your
truth.
home.
Like
This
you
is
said,
your marriage, not your mother's marriage.
see, I'm
This
picking-
is your marriage.
I need to save you from her.
why are you
that
saving?
moment.
But this is like I keep saying, this is the 21st century.
I need
This
to
is
solve
my
this,
mother didn't
2018.
grow up in the 21st
Wait.
century.
So can you not make your mother understand that this is your marriage? You have an understanding with your wife that this is how you do things in your home. She's built her home. She's raised her
Remember
children.
the first thing I
It's
said?
your choice
It's just
now.
to take her out of that place. That's for me. Just making her leave that very environment at that moment will kill the whole matter.
I need to solve
she
this.
leaves it.
Just
Okay,
marry
solve it.
Alright,
someone-
so let's hear you solve
Marry
this.
someone who, her and your mom, they have a good rapport. Because
Yeah.
if my wife and my mom get along, my mom's not going to pick at her having dirty dishes in the kitchen.
Can I tell
That's
you
true.
something?
Well-
She could, but she wouldn't do it the same way. Your mom will still pick
No,
at
if
her.
my mom and my wife have a good rapport, they'd have an understanding whereby if they even had a dispute, they'd be able to sort it out
Sort
without
it
me getting
themselves.
involved. But
Definitely.
then if I'm married to someone who my mom doesn't like, my mom is always going to pick on the little things.
Sure.
So then you're the one who stepped into that. So you either decide you keep your mom away from your home when you know they don't get along, or You know, just marry someone who your mom is happy with.
Or how about mothers just actually training their sons to do these things as well?
To wash plates in my own house.
Why not?
Yes,
What's
why
wrong
not?
with
My
that?
brother
Can I
does
tell you
the same.
something? My 2 little brothers, they are 8 and 9. They are being raised to be. It doesn't matter whether you have a wife or a house girl or whatever. You can still do. My 8-year-old brother cooks with my mom.
In
You
our
say
home,
8
everybody
years
is
He's
equal.
8
In my
years
house.
Okay,
old.
now,
He
I'm
likes
not
to
married.
be in the kitchen
I'm
with
not
my
married.
mom.
I does my dish it myself.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm married, you won't expect me to come and start doing the dishes.
Why
for
can't
you.
I
Why
expect
can't
you to do the
yeah,
dishes?
it
You've
should
been
be
doing
your
it
own now.
yourself.
You're both living in the house together, so why can't you do it?
You know,
Why
the
is
truth
it her?
let's not
Why is it
confuse
her?
things with the idea of we growing in the 21st centuries. Some things are just normal.
So you would not wash dishes?
I could, but it's not like you expecting me to date. That's a wrong perspective.
Can I ask you a
Why?
question? If I have a
Right.
flat tire and I'm about to go to work,
Will
and I
you
ask you
fix
to change it for me, will you change it for me?
If you know that she can change it, why not?
Why can't you change it in the first place?
Maybe she doesn't know how to.
Why don't you know how to change tire? We're in 21st century, everybody should know how to do everything.
Toby,
Well, then
thank
teach
you.
her.
If I teach you, will you
If,
change it for
see,
me?
this
Yes.
is, no, this is what I'm saying.
you
as well.
teach me, I
okay,
will.
we
No,
can
you
bring.
won't.
Yes, I
Toby, we
would.
can bring up that argument as well. That okay, fine. That's why I'm saying that ladies are being trained to be good wives,
Yeah, that's what it's
right?
meant to be now.
That's why and husbands are being trained to be. I mean, boys are being trained to just be guys.
be
They're not
guys.
being trained to be
That's-
husbands
oh,
or
that's
anything.
what boys
So
do.
maybe that's
How do you
another
know we're
thing
not
as
trained
well.
to be husbands?
That's why
I
I
want
asked
to buy
you.
Brazilian and I give you money. Did someone train me to give you the money?
That's not being a, that's
So
you
what's
wanting
that?
it,
What's
because that's a
that?
girlfriend.
What's that? What's
that's,
that?
that's you deciding
What's
Okay,
to
my
be a good
dad,
husband.
my dad is married to my mom, right?
Yeah.
He grew up the way I'm growing up as a man, and he's a good husband. So
Okay.
what makes you think guys are not being trained to be
Your
good
dad would be a
husbands?
great husband if he washes the plate. That's what she's saying.
I don't understand.
He's a
Okay, so
good
watching the
husband.
plate will make
But
him a
if he
great
washes the plate,
husband.
he'll be a great
No.
husband.
Not necessarily. What I'm saying is this ideology of the girl is the only one that knows how to keep the home. The girl has to be the one to keep the home and all of that. Like it's a backwards thinking of men are only to bring money into the house and be the brand. The woman can be the breadwinner too. Why can't it be half and half?
Yeah, half and half.
I don't
What do
think
you
it's
mean
a
by half and
backwards
half?
thing. I think it's culture.
Half and half, but
It's-
It boils down to
okay,
culture.
your wife is gonna go to work. You're
Okay.
gonna go to work. You probably come back home late,
Okay.
and you expect her to make dinner.
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Okay, let's just
What's
let me
wrong
let
with
me
that?
ask-
She
let me
went
let
to
me
work
ask-
as
let
well.
me put this no. I have a
Why
wife
you man being too?
that's probably a
I know my
nursing wife.
Okay.
She goes to work.
Okay.
I go to work as well. So you mean if the baby is crying and I get home first, since it's half and half, I should go and breastfeed my baby?
See, there you
You,
go.
no,
it's not
you
gonna work
don't
that
twist,
way.
Don't twist it around. There's certain
But
things
it's
we
half
know.
and
We
half.
women know. We women know that there's certain things
Okay.
that it
It's-
can only
it's-
be us doing.
You
don't
It's
wash
not
plates
easy
in your
washing
own
plates
house.
because you have hands.
God bless you.
See,
The one thing you can't do is breastfeed because there's no milk inside you to breastfeed. So we have to do it. But God gave us hands. God gave you hands.
Yeah.
So if we are able to use those same hands to wash dishes, why can't you? And the hands is there's nothing in our there's
and
nothing
that's
special
why I
about
said
our hands.
don't you not wash
changing
dishes
tire. God gave you hands also.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm
But we
agreeing
both
with
know you would not change.
Why?
Don't
No,
lie.
but
What
Toby,
24th century? What
Toby,
2018?
Toby,
Toby,
What girl
Toby,
do
you
you
know
know?
what happens?
Toby,
You
I
know
will
what
change
happens when
tire.
she's going
Toby,
out with her own
I
car
come from. I
and
come.
she has a flat tire
She will
on the
call her
way. She will
husband to
call
come
her
and change
husband
it.
on
Can I
to come
tell you
and change the same
something?
tire.
If I knew how to change a tire, and it's simply because I will put my hands up and say nobody taught me how to change a tire.
Listen.
But if I wanted to learn how to change a tire, I
you
would
would.
learn and I would change it
Even if
myself.
we
Toby,
teach you,
listen,
you will not
Toby,
I
do
would-
it.
Toby, I come.
Can I do
come
some-
from a family.
She just look at her. She doesn't want
Yes,
to spoil
someone
her
get
hands.
hands dirty.
I come from a
Ah.
family with, like, I come from a single parent
Yeah.
household. It's just my mom. And trust me, I do the handiwork at home. If a cupboard needs screwdriving, I would get a drill and
Yeah.
screwdrive it. If I remember the day that we had a problem with our car, this was me and my mom pushing the car and like even towing it ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's the 21st century. I think
Okay.
people need to
Now-
adapt.
do it, you do
hold
it.
on, pause. Now you telling me if you had a boyfriend who was living down the corner, you wouldn't call him and say, I have a problem with the car. Do you want to come down? Be honest.
I'll be okay.
2018.
Can I tell you something? I
What?
will be honest. I will call my husband. But
There
can
you
I tell you something?
go.
Most girls that know how to do
do
it,
it,
because
they'll
I
do it
do know girls.
themselves, yeah.
I do know girls that know how to do it. Not only would they do it themselves, but if they end up calling their boyfriends, it's to boost their boyfriend's ego. Because
Yeah,
guys
they
are
are
complaining.
feminists.
No,
They're
guys are
complaining
complaining these
feminists.
days
You are
that
trying to
girls
know.
don't like them.
Or they
No.
don't respect them.
Let me tell you, see, as a guy, don't get it wrong. Like, if I do something for a woman, like something like heavy lifting, it doesn't make me feel good. It's just
Oh,
normal.
It's just normal.
But you see, because you don't need your ego to be boosted, there's some guys that need their ego boosted.
Listen,
And the girls know.
The guy
That
doesn't
is
know
that's
what
not a
he's
man.
looking for,
That's not a
actually.
man.
He doesn't know what he's
That's one
looking
I used to
for.
go to school to go and learn how to be a man.
Okay, so you're telling me
But school
lifting
doesn't
something
teach you
heavy
anything.
that I
Make me
know
feel
it's
like
heavy
I'm
will
a
make
ma-
me
I'm a
feel
man.
good, make me feel like a man.
It depends on
It's
what
just-
guy you are. That's what I'm saying. There are some guys that need to feel that, especially when they're dating like bold women that are not, that they don't need. The guys will believe that, oh, they're not needed.
Yeah.
Like if a girl is already used to doing things herself
Herself,
anyway. Like take Ronke for example. She says she does all the handiwork at
No,
home.
but it's very
If she
simple.
if she start dating
if I'm,
somebody,
if I'm dating somebody like Ronke, for example, it's just simple. I will understand her kind of person. If she doesn't call me to do some certain things for her, I will understand. But it's not like,
But wouldn't it
okay.
make you feel somehow?
No, it
That
you're
won't.
not- that you're
It
not
won't.
needed.
If I
That
understand
you're
you
not
very
needed.
well,
I
no.
disagree. She will still call you.
But she will still call you.
I
That's
know
the
lots
truth.
of females who are like,
No
That's
matter
the thing.
how
Miss
she knows how to do
Independent
it,
and
she will
all
call.
that. They'll be like, I never ask a guy for money, blah blah blah.
They still
But when they
ask-
need money and you
go
go, listen,
asking.
you know you didn't ask me. There you go. They won't give you back.
Should be
I
do that
still
upfront.
believe.
They didn't ask you up.
You see, there you go. You see,
You offered.
see,
You
didn't-
offered. I didn't ask
Yeah,
you
but I'm Miss
upfront.
Independent. Give me
You
back my
offered.
money.
You offered. You
You-
offered. I
yeah,
didn't
yeah, you
ask
told
Okay.
me- yeah.
I
Why
didn't
don't
ask
you be like, you didn't ask and I gave you? So
Me too, I
don't,
didn't
just don't
imagine.
ask. Bring it back.
Imagine.
Oh,
It's simple.
See,
I still believe in with everything we've said. Girls, fine, I agree with you because we're saying I'm saying I said from the beginning that guys need to be trained to be, and I said good husbands, but also good men.
Yeah, I like that.
Necessarily good
I like
men,
that. I like
because
that.
I think it would translate as you will still be a good husband if you can actually be a good man first. There are guys around that are not good men.
Okay, now you've channeled this very topic to where me I like very much.
Okay.
You know, telling me that guys should be trained to be good men and ladies should be trained to be, good women. I think that's the basic. But when we make it like good husband, good wife, it boils down. It brings a whole lot of argument. But if I'm trying to be a good person, I will just do everything that it's good.
Yeah.
You
And
understand?
I've said it before that a good wife is, you can only tell the person that can tell a good wife is the husband.
Yeah.
Like I might not necessarily be a good wife to you because you're not my husband.
That's true.
It's the husband that will say I have a good wife, and it's the
wife,
wife
yeah.
that will say I have a good
The
husband.
husband, yeah.
But anybody can tell if you're a good man or a good
A
woman.
good
Woman.
Yeah, that's true.
So
true.
why don't parents raise good people?
Yeah.
Whatever
And
you have a guy
it
or a
will make
girl,
our
raise
world a
them the
better
same,
place,
raise them as
actually.
good people.
Having good
Yeah.
people, raising good children
Yeah,
would just make our
just
world
to
a
take a
safer
quote
place.
from I don't know if it's a poem or I don't even know what it is by
Chimamanda.
Yeah,
Chimamanda.
Chimamanda. She's an author, and she was just saying it's also on Beyonce's song "Flawless." She goes, "We train girls, not for competition or just not for jobs or accomplishments, but we train them to be competitive against one another for the sake for men, for the sake of men." Like
who does it though? Not us men. It's you women though. You know that. Like, it's
No,
not
but
us
that's what
guys
she,
Yeah,
that
but
train
that's
girls.
what she
women
said.
are
That
trained,
the
yeah.
way the way women were trained is to compete against. So, for example, now myself and Runke, you see me and Runke, and we're competing against each other. Who's going to look better for you?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily you that
We're not
caused this.
training
We're not
them
saying
for,
it's you
you know,
that caused
This is
it.
funny, but when you tell women like we don't like Brazil, like, hey, why are you doing it for us? They'll say no, we're not doing it for you. We're doing it for
For
ourselves.
That's it. I'm sorry.
Now they-
I'll tell you now.
Okay,
That's,
reverse is
that's
becoming
that's
okay.
a different
Yeah,
thing.
that's a different thing as well.
That's a different thing.
But I
What
like
we're
the
saying.
idea though. It sounds good.
Can you imagine? But one of the is it's not necessarily even just the Brazilian hair and everything. It's not necessarily just even in the physical. It's like, oh, for example, if you marry a girl now and let's say she hasn't given you any children, and then you know that typical story, and then the mother brings up another girl.
Yeah.
The two women in the house will now be competing for the husband's affection because they both know
Yeah.
like they can give him something. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be, because the second girl that was brought in should know that, okay, this is another woman's home. I shouldn't be here in the first place. But instead, because she wants to prove I'm a woman too.
That's another topic for another day, because I can argue with that.
No, but it's 21st century. Why would I allow my mother to bring in another woman?
Thank
for me?
you.
if my mother should bring in a second woman, I'll just plead with her to make them 3, because I'll feel safer when they are 3. You know?
Okay, like Toby said, like Toby said, that's another topic for another day.
Sure it is.
This has been Convo Time. If you have anything to say about what we've discussed today, any of your experiences as well, or people that you know that are going through this and being pressured, women, men, in any way, let us know. There's our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we'll see you again on Convo Time. Bye.